Hello everyone, this is the Tale 2 podcast with me, Yusuf, and
Hassan,
Hassan. Why are we doing this?
because we're really bored.
Great reason. What are we talking about this week?
The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2.
Wonderful, both great games that everyone loved.
Yes.
Everyone sane loved.
Yes.
And everyone who disliked it.
Should we talk about a bit of news before going into the shite hole that is?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
What's in the news, Hassan?
We're coming out of coronavirus lockdown.
Sure, some of us, yes.
Some of us are still being locked in, depending where you are,
Yes.
where you're listening to this.
Yes.
Good luck. Stay safe.
And read books, those will save your life.
Don't read books. That's for nerds. Like me, like I had to do for 3 years in my history degree.
And you lost your mind, didn't you?
At one part, yes.
You went out to the garden and started screaming to the heavens.
Yes, because we had to review this book, and I, for the life of me, I couldn't review this book because I just didn't understand what the person was talking about, and it led to me going outside in the garden and screaming incoherently. And then Mum was just looking at me like, "Are you okay?" And I went, "Leave me alone." You know the bit in between is, when Simon says his family leave, or he says something else, but he goes into the garden on top of the shed and he just sits there. That's literally what happened to me. It's a good story, isn't it? Because you're yawning.
Sorry, yes.
Yes.
I haven't seen the In-Betweeners.
Yes, you have.
I've seen bits of it. I haven't seen a whole episode.
What's wrong with you?
I haven't seen the movie.
You know, in between this, it's literally our sixth form.
Yeah, I know. You and everyone else kept telling me that.
Yeah.
And I never watched it, so I didn't get the reference. And how everyone thinks. I know that Jay, he's one character.
Yes.
And he's like a certain someone that we know.
Yes. Who just used to lie every single day of their life. And then when you caught them out of a lie, you said, "Oh, you're that's not the truth. That's not the truth." He would lie again, but the problem is you don't know if he's lying. So you just sit there and just accept it.
It's a real Inception kind of moment.
The only time I genuinely was just like, "No, you're lying. Shut up. Leave us alone." It was when we were walking back to the bus stop to go home, and he said to me, "I've been shot," and I went, "No, you haven't." I said other things, quite crass language was being used by myself, because I was quite annoyed that he kept saying I was shot. So I'm like, "No, you weren't." And then he said, "Okay, fine, buy a BB gun." I'm like, everyone's been shot by a BB gun at one point in their life.
So he's right. He was shot.
No, but he was saying, because me and my friend were talking about where's the worst place to be shot, and we both agreed it was the kneecaps, because it would be the most painful place to be shot in.
Yeah.
And he just said randomly, "Yeah, I've been shot." So in context, he was saying, "I've been shot by a real gun."
Well, he didn't specify that as a gun.
And then when we said, no, everyone's been shot by a BB gun, stop it.
Yeah.
He then said, "Oh, it was just, people at home can't see this, but he said it was the size of, like, this size." I'm basically getting my hand into a big, like, circle.
It's about the size of a tennis ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I said to him, "If you were shot by that, you wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
You'd be dead."
Well,
Like, that would cause internal bleeding.
If he was shot by that, it might have been low velocity, therefore he would have survived.
If he was shot by that, that meant he must have been at a protest somewhere and the police shot a beanbag into his chest and he survived it.
You don't know. He might be doing that. He could be a revolutionary.
No! This guy also said during the floods in New York a couple of years back, he said, "Oh, my brother's over there right now." And I went, "Oh, is he alright?" And he went, "Yeah, he's in the penthouse suite. He's fine." And I found out he doesn't have a brother. And to be fair, I haven't seen... no, you know what? Let's... Okay. I don't think he's got a brother. There you go.
Well, that's a...
Oh, and then he also said that his brother was part of the Indian cricket team.
d-
No!
How do you know?
It's the same way there's a guy called Hafiz
Yeah.
in the Pakistani cricket team.
Yeah.
We're not related.
It's spelled differently.
Yeah, but we're not related.
Yeah, we're not related.
There you go.
Well, you don't know if he's related to him.
Shut up.
You,
He wasn't. He never was. Anyway, that's the news for this week. Me getting my grievances out. But yeah, no, in the world, what has been going on? So coronavirus lockdown has been slowly rescinded.
Mm-hmm.
The world is getting back to normal, slowly.
Our Prime Minister...
I don't know about that, Yusuf.
Sure. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Just to be clear, you're saying that.
I'm saying that.
Not me.
And no one else is saying that.
You, Yusuf
Just me.
Hafiz, are saying that.
Yes.
And me, Hassan Hafiz is not saying that.
Correct.
I'm not saying such a thing.
And you're not partaking in this part of the show whatsoever.
No, I'm not.
Wonderful.
I think we should stick with the facts, Yusuf. The coronavirus lockdown, is being rescinded.
Yeah. I don't know what else. I haven't been reading the news properly.
I have.
AFTV. Did you hear about that?
No.
About Claude.
No. What's this?
So those of you who know, there's a fan channel. of
Oh,
Arsenal
is this
fans.
Arsenal? Oh, I don't care. No one cares about this.
Oh, I love it. I love this.
It's
I love.
a bunch of grown children
Yeah.
crying over football. This is why I hate football.
Yeah, you don't like football, but I like it, and I love this show.
Why do people care so
this
much?
channel? And what I love about it was one of them, his name's Claude. He may have said something. He may have said something that was racist. Whether he had racist intent behind it, who knows?
Hang on, let's be clear. So he may have said it, and if he did say it, then he didn't have any
he
racist
did say
intent.
something that could be.
Is that his
construed
defense
as ra-
though?
Well, his defense was, he was referring. So he said,
Let's not say it.
yeah, not to say, but he's referring to Tottenham's.
Google it if you really want to.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered. I don't care.
But he was referring to Tottenham's. He was saying he was referring to Tottenham's new Amazon show, which, if you don't know, is called All or Nothing. And it's meant to show behind the scenes of Tottenham during a year. It's been quite
And
traumatic.
I
in
want to
some
be clear
senses.
to everyone right here. He got a better grade than me at English language. You can't think of a word right now.
I can't. But basically,
Oh, here we
and
go. Here's
he
the stumbling blocks.
he said he was
The
referring-
English language, ladies and gentlemen, by Yusuf Ali Hafiz.
He said he was referring to that. It probably wasn't that in the context he was talking about.
So just cut things short. He said something racist.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. He allegedly said something racist.
Yeah.
And if he did actually say something racist, he didn't mean it.
Sure. But
Right.
he's now been kicked off the AFTV channel.
Okay, good. I don't care.
But he's got his own channel,
I honestly couldn't
which
care
I follow
less.
for some reason. I don't know
I
why.
honestly couldn't care less. No
Wonderful.
one could care less.
It's big
It's
news.
football. It's literally just it's a continuous cycle of a team winning. The other team fans are saying, "Oh, don't worry, we'll win it next year." Or the team that won it said, "Oh, we won it this year. We're gonna win it next year." And when they don't win it next year, they get very angry. Say, "Don't worry, we'll win it next year." And the fans that didn't win it the 1 year and then won it the next year, they'll say the same thing, saying, "Oh, we're gonna win it next year as well because we're gonna go all the way. It'll be a decade of glorious, glorious cups or something like that." Huh? And then now and then you guys will backstab your managers or your players, and then when they leave and nothing has changed. Didn't that happen with Arsenal? Wenger,
well,
he was the club manager for decades, I think it was.
over a decade. Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys backstabbed him.
Okay, I'm not an
Well,
Arsenal
not you
fan.
guys, but
Yeah.
I'm saying fans in general just backstabbed him, and then nothing changed.
They didn't backstab him. He just became a bit stagnant towards the end of his reign.
Who cares?
But also in football news, Leeds, they're being promoted back to the Premier League. They're
Don't
back.
care.
Leeds has got a great history, Hassan.
Couldn't. Yeah, Leeds does, but Leeds Football Club, I don't care.
Leeds United has a great history in European competitions
I don't
and Premier
care.
League. Well,
No one
what
cares.
was the top flight before?
Good. Are we done with the football section? I don't know why we've got a sports section now. We're not doing that. We're not having that each week.
What else is going on in the world?
My God, you can't think of a single thing, can
I
you?
literally cannot. I've
You haven't
been
now and then
reading
just checked your.
No, I do, but nothing.
Henry Cavill made his own PC,
Yeah,
and then he realised midway through he put something upside down.
Yeah,
It's quite funny.
and everyone's thirsted over his big arms.
Did you?
I haven't watched it.
Very good looking lad he is.
He is. He's very good
Incredible.
looking.
Yes.
Quite annoying, actually.
Yes. This is good, isn't it? I quite like it. There's something in the news.
I haven't read it in the past 2 days. I haven't read the BBC news. I haven't watched the news for the past 2 days, which is weird. 'cause
Right, do you want me to give a brief? It's all coronavirus kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Basically, us lot, we're doing okay.
yeah,
We're doing
and
fine.
the only
The
thing
world,
yeah,
not really.
well.
When I mean the world, I mean the
Brazil
Americas.
and
Yes,
America. Yeah,
the Americas. They're not doing too well.
yeah.
They've become the new hotspots, and also Florida as well. It's gone insane there.
Yeah.
And people and the governor. I think the governor was praised in the early days because he wouldn't lock down, but it didn't appear that the coronavirus was too bad in Florida. And then people started testing, and then they realized, oh, it's quite bad.
Yeah.
Like I think they've got the largest A&E. Also, I don't quote me on this. I don't know anything. I'm just a mere bystander of not listening to anything. But it's like large hospital, the largest trauma center or something like that. And that's now near capacity.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, in good news, Henry Cavill made his PC. Watch that; it's quite nice.
Yes.
Oh, and also, did you see that that kid that saved his sister from that dog?
no.
It was like the one nice story this week.
I watched a video of some kittens playing around.
Anyway, this boy, he saved this dog was attacking his sister. He got in the middle of it. It ended up like just biting his face in or something like that.
Yes.
And then he said
Yes, I did see
he said
this.
in an interview that if someone had to die, it should be me.
Oh yeah.
And this guy's like 6 or 8
Yeah,
or
I
something.
didn't watch it.
But
I saw the
and then
image
all
afterwards.
these Avengers and I think it's just the Avengers. There must be some DC characters as well. Anyway, the Avengers, people that played them, they've been getting in contact saying, "Well done, lad,
Yeah,
doing a good job."
it's quite a nice story.
Yes. Oh, that's the end of the news, the glorious section that we've now for some reason introduced.
Yep, I didn't realize I was going to do that, but fine.
Yes, that's fine.
So
We stumbled our way through it.
yes,
Anyway, right to the main course of the tonight's entertainment.
yes,
The Last of Us, Part 1 and Part 2.
yeah,
If you're a gamer, you'll probably enjoy this conversation. Or you might not, because, you might hate Last of Us. Or if you're not a gamer, just play it if you want to. But, yeah, just... It's fine if you skip this. It's
And-
okay. Just give us a like. We didn't say that at the start, did we? We should say it at the end.
Like,
Give us a like.
or subscribe.
Subscribe. Whatever we're doing.
Give us money. Don't know how.
Sure.
Just mail it out to us.
Just come to our house, chuck some pennies at our window. Don't do that, actually.
No.
Just give us... Yeah.
Basically, Last of Us, great games, and anyone that thinks differently
Okay.
is wrong.
So let's start with the original Last
Yes.
of Us. It wasn't called Part 1, it was just called The Last of Us.
Yes.
So the world is
Oh, and these will have spoilers.
oh yeah, spoilers. I can't be bothered to be like just this is this non-spoiler section, you can listen to this, and then no, don't listen to this section because I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Or I should, to make your life a bit harder, you have to edit.
Yes.
That would be funny. Right, so The Last of Us, it's another I want to say another post-apocalyptic game.
Yeah.
Or set in the post-apocalyptic era kind of thing. But it's not just that. It's not just another zombie game. It's actually quite good. So in this world, the zombies aren't just undead people. They are people that have been affected by this cordyceps virus, which is actually based on a real life thing, isn't it?
Yep.
But it only affects ants.
Yes.
Doesn't affect anyone
Well,
else.
and I think some insects.
Sure.
Some other insects.
Could be, yeah. And so the world has gone to hell in a handbasket. And you are playing as Joel. He's a smuggler. He's not a very nice person. We're going to get some emails about that.
No. Okay.
Just know by me saying that, and if you're very angry at me for saying that, send your emails through. I'm not going to read them. But if it gets some time to get some frustrations out of you, then sure, go ahead. But anyway, he's not a very nice man. He's a smuggler. He will do many bad things to get through his life right now. And you meet this girl called Ellie,
Yep.
and there's something special about Ellie.
Yes.
All right, and that ends the non-spoiler part of the section.
Yes.
Here's the spoiler part section. Ellie is the cure to humanity.
Yes.
Yes, she's immune to the virus. She got bit. She didn't turn.
And Joel has to essentially brought her across the country.
Yes,
to the
he's
front
working.
side.
He's working for Marlene. Yes, Marlene. Because I thought I got the names wrong. No, Marlene. Because she is the leader of the Fireflies, who's this kind of group who's trying to fight any kind of oppressive
Military
society out there, military kind of occupation in Boston,
Yep.
and they're trying to make the world better, basically.
Yep.
At what cost? We shall see. So yeah, Joel has said to Marlene, "I'll get Ellie across to the Fireflies, and at each point they'll find Fireflies, but they're often dead. So then they'll find the next place that they can find Fireflies, and they keep doing that again and again and again. You meet Joel's brother, Tommy.
Yep.
He's got a wife called Maria. She's quite a good character. And I would say, if I had to do it under 3 words, it's good, guys. It's good. It's a good game. You should play it.
Wonderful. Something else to note about Joel is that he lost his daughter on
Yes.
the outset, not to an infected, but to a soldier who shot at them.
Yes.
And you can understand why the soldier might have done that.
Yes. But anyway, Sarah's dead. It's a very emotional
and
start to
because
the
of
game.
that traumatic experience, he is quite standoffish with
Yes.
everyone he interacts with.
Yes.
So with Ellie, who essentially becomes a reminder of his daughter,
Yes.
who he lost, he slowly breaks down and opens up to her.
Mhm.
Not a huge amount, but to a point where he kind of sees her as his daughter, or
Yes.
surrogate daughter.
And you meet different characters in the game. So there's Tess, who's
Yep.
Joel's mate.
Yep. she dies.
Yeah.
After
She's a
she-
good character though. I like her.
Yes.
She's quite nice.
There's a mod out there. where
Yeah, you can play as
Tess.
Tess, and then
Tess.
you can do like a last stand type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good though. I like it.
Yeah.
And then you meet Bill.
Yes.
I like Bill. He's a very nice man. There's a part in the game where you go into Bill's town. He lives there by himself.
with someone else.
Okay, in the game, he lives by himself.
Sure.
Because at the end of that particular bit of the game, you find Bill's partner. Yes, Frank. He's hung himself.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Because he had enough of Bill.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's quite emotional. It's a good section of the game, I think. Anyway, because it's the first time you meet a bloater. So just beware. There's runners who have been infected for a couple of weeks. There's clickers who are they've been infected for a couple of years, and then there's bloaters who've been infected for God knows how long. And they are the biggest, meanest bastards you meet out there. And then also in the DLC, we'll talk about that in a bit. You meet the stalkers, who are basically like runners, but they stalk you.
So they're a bit more intelligent in some senses.
Yes. Also, there's a I think I saw somewhere within the Wikipedia or something that the people are actually aware they're in there. They are when they've been affected.
The runners.
It's not openly said, but they alluded to that they are still somewhat alive, the people. But what's happened is that the infection has got right through their brain. So anything they can think of, they've got this urge to eat, which they don't want to do really, but they do it anyway. And then with their eyes, the reason why you keep seeing them like touch their face is because the infection, the growth kind of spores, something like that. But they look like sticks. They're growing out their face, so they're in pain.
Also, that's why they're sensitive to light. Also,
yes. No, they're not.
they're not.
Cannibal Man. What's his name?
David.
David. No, David. He's a creepy bastard, isn't he?
I mean, you can sort of understand his point of view.
Yeah, you play as Ellie. There's a bit in the game where Joel gets injured quite badly, and then you play as Ellie, and you meet these cannibals.
Yes.
They're nice people.
They're sure.
No, they're not. They tried to eat Ellie. Not great. But
they don't try to eat Ellie. He tries to recruit her into the community. Also, because
no, he doesn't.
He does.
He doesn't.
That's why he keeps her alive.
Well, no, he keeps her alive. I don't know. Yeah, it's true. Kind of. Because everyone else wants to kill her.
Yeah, and then when they do try and kill her, she says, I'm infected. They look at where she's been bitten.
Yeah.
And then she goes up.
She tries to keep that quiet because Joel said to her, keep it quiet.
Yes.
Because it's just something that's
But then
not
eventually
usual.
she kills David.
Yes, in the machete attack.
Yes.
Which is quite...
It's
good, but it's quite traumatic to watch.
It's the point you realise it's a 14-year-old girl who has gone through quite a bit.
Yeah, and then she starts hacking away at this guy. And then Joel finds her because he's now healed up. But, and then there's a giraffe bit. That's a very good bit. I like it.
It was a touching point.
Yes. It's near the end of the game where you see just wildlife and you see a giraffe. You can pet it and it's quite nice. We're not doing it any favours by saying that, but you have to watch it or play it. But it's a very good part of the game. But just during the whole story, you see their relationship get stronger and stronger and stronger. And then there's a bit at the end near the end where you find the fireflies eventually, and they thank you as Joel. And then Joel says, I want to go see her. And they said, you can't. She's being prepped for surgery. And he says, why? Because the growth of the infection, it has infected her, but she doesn't feel anything. She's not actually infected. But the infection is on her brain. And the only way you can get it is to cut her open and get the cells out there.
Kill her.
And it kill her. And then Joel's like, no, you're not doing this. You're not doing this at all.
So he
does shoot a man in the penis twice.
Yes.
Which was quite a good bit.
And then he proceeds to kill everyone in the Fireflies.
Yes, no matter how innocent or not innocent they are.
And goes into the operation
surgery room.
And he kills the doctor there.
Which will come to the second part of the game.
Yes.
Spoilers. And then you save Ellie, you bring her home. She asked you like what happened because she doesn't remember any of this. She's drugged up. Yeah. And he said he just lies to her saying that there are other people there. They can't make they can't make a vaccine out of whatever you have. Or anyone else has, so there's no point. I just took you out there,
and she feels quite sad.
Because she feels like she's got this purpose.
Yeah,
and this purpose wasn't fulfilled, so now she's still alive,
and she doesn't know what to do.
She doesn't know what to do. So they go back to Tommy's town, So they go back to Jackson, and the end of the game is, if anyone's ever watched The Road with Viggo Mortensen and some kid, I think it's got Charlize Theron in there. If anyone's ever watched that, it ends in a very similar way in terms of. So then Ellie just says to Joel, "Please tell me that you're telling the truth," and then he just says, "Yes, I am telling the truth." He's lying, of course, and then she just goes, "Okay," and then that's how it ends.
Yeah.
It's a very good game. I beat it on the hardest difficulty.
Grounded
on the remastered version on the PS4.
And you lost your mind.
I lost my mind, and then I got past the bit which I went. This is the end. This is probably the end part of the game in terms of combat and everything like that, and in any actual gameplay. And I got past it, and I screamed out in joy. And you were there on the call with your friend, and they're like, "What's happened?" And I said, "I beat him. I beat it."
It was the bloater in the school.
No, you idiot.
I thought that's what it was.
No, there is a bloater. You just use Molotov cocktails. If you're not a gamer, just skip this bit. You don't care. Bloater, you just use Molotov cocktails. You meet another bloater as Ellie. You need to save up your Molotov cocktails, or you can shoot it while it's jumping down. Because for some reason, if you do that,
is
then
that
it's
when
a
you're
one
with
shot.
David?
Yeah, it's a one shot. It's one shot kill. It is for some reason, but I just killed it with a Molotov. And then at the end, when you're trying to kill people that have got assault rifles, you basically just smoke out the whole area and you run to the door and you open it. That's how I did it. That's pretty much how it works. That's probably the hardest part of the game. Those 3 areas.
Wonderful.
Yes, but it's a good game. People should play it.
And I haven't played the DLC. You have.
I mean, I was going to ask you, what did you think of the game, the first one? Minus the DLC.
Good. And it's quite. It's weird because you can replay it. It's got a lot of replay value to it, even though there isn't anything like.
Even though it's just a single player game.
Yeah, it's a single player. Well, it's got multiplayer, but
we'll talk about that.
The single player campaign itself is quite replayable, which I found weird because it wasn't like I didn't know certain parts of the game, and I found them. I was like, oh, this is new. Half the stuff I didn't find the first time around. So. Yeah, it's just the story. I think the story itself was good enough to actually go through it again and again and again.
The best part, if people should also watch the the background, like kind of behind the scenes type thing.
Yeah.
And there's a bit when it's called like The Last of Us Grounded or something like that, and it's on YouTube. And there's a bit when they're trying to show people how they got the sound of the infected.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this weird throat noise, and. And then the person like interviewing all the people says to like the 2 main lead guys, "Oh, it sounds like this animal." And then they just went, and then one of them just looked at each other. They both looked at each other, and then one of them just slammed the table, and they said, "We spent 3 months trying to find this sound." And they're like, "Why did we waste all that time trying to find this sound when it was a random?" I can't remember what the animal was, but the guy says, "Oh, it sounds like this animal," and they went, "Damn it." They just went, "Oh, for God's sake!"
It's like 3 months of our life and waiting.
Yeah, it's kind of like in Jurassic Park, all the like T-Rexes and stuff. They just got sounds from like lions and tigers and dolphins, everything for all the dinosaurs, and then just made those sounds into the animal. Yeah. That's what they should have done, but they spent 3 months trying to recreate this weird noise.
Yeah.
And they could have just used an animal. What a good time those guys must have had when they found that out.
Yes, and also the fact that we know what the Naughty Dog's working practices are like.
Let's talk about that later, Yusuf.
Sure.
Because I still want a job with them one day.
Fair enough.
And then there's a DLC, which is called The Last of Us Left Behind.
Which I haven't played.
Yes, I have played. It's quite good. Basically, it's set after Joel is injured and you're trying to get him away and you're trying to find him medicine. That's the main storyline. But then there are these flashbacks to when just before Ellie gets bit and you meet her friend whose name I can't remember for the life of me. Doesn't matter. And you just see her. They're all going around. It's not gameplay heavy, that end of the story, but it's just exploring the world and learning Ellie before she got bit how happy she was as a child, playing around, all that kind of stuff. Well, you also find out at the end of that game that Ellie's a lesbian. Yes, which I didn't know until when I played that game. It's quite a nice moment. It is.
Yeah.
Yes. If you're out there and you want to say, "Oh, it says gender," all that kind of stuff, send emails. I'm not going to read them. I couldn't care less. And I'm going to get so many emails just off hatred.
Oh God.
Just listen. I'll do a rant later on in one of the other like podcasts we do. But it's just why do you? Anyway, fine. Anyway, so and then the main storyline is more gameplay heavy. You find infected, you find hunters, which are kind of bandits. In that universe, and you just go around trying to find this medicine, and you find it, and you get it back to Joel. That's basically it. But it was the first time that you ever see stalkers, which, like we said, they're kind of like runners, but they hide behind cover and they kind of ambush you. And then also, it's the first time, I think, in the Last of Us games, you can actually get infected to fight human enemies.
Yes.
Which they then implemented in Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
Which is quite good. I like those bits. And yeah, it's a good DLC. If you haven't played the Last of Us series, I would say get the Last of Us remastered, because it comes with the DLC, and it's quite
And it's
good.
not that expensive. You can get it on sale. Like
No, it's quite... at least on the PlayStation
store, yeah.
It's around like £15,
Yeah.
something like that. It's good.
Yeah.
Quite good. I enjoyed it a lot.
And then there's a multiplayer also.
There's the multiplayer as well, which they didn't implement in Part 2, which I'm quite saddened about. I think there is plans, because every time Neil Druckmann, who's the director of the game, gets asked that question, he doesn't really say no. He says no in terms of like the release of the game,
Yeah.
but they might be working on something.
Yeah.
So what they might do is kind of like GTA, kind of online, where they release the initial game, and then months later they release the online multiplayer version. So I hope they do that. It's quite good. I really like the multiplayer. It was hard, and I was really crap at it, but I quite liked it as well. When there's parts in that game where when you flank the enemy and you get like a few shots off when you kill like 10 people, it's great. It's amazing. Out of context, that sounds mad, but it's a good game.
Yes.
Yes.
Last of Us 2.
Oh, here we go.
Or Part 2.
Here we go.
Yes.
Right. Should we just go through the story? I don't really want to spoil it. I know I did say earlier I'm just going to go through spoilers, but we'll go through like non-spoilers and then spoilers, and then we can kind of timestamp it if we can.
I mean, the story itself is quite simple from Ellie's perspective.
Okay, let's stick with this. So you and Jackson, you kind of leave off where the last game left off. It's been about 4 years.
Yeah,
I think it's been 4 years. So now Ellie's is a young woman.
Yeah.
And she's just doing in Jackson. They've got roles for her to do, so she goes on patrols and everything like that.
Yeah.
So how do we say this without spoiling anything? Something traumatic happens at the start of the game, which leads Ellie to go to Seattle to exact revenge.
And it's to pursue the WLF.
Yes, the group that you meet there. There's two groups. There's the WLF, which are people call them wolves. Yeah, but they're the Washington Liberation Front. Yusuf, you didn't know that, did you? You forgot.
I was gonna say that.
No, you weren't.
I was.
I know everything about this universe, Yusuf.
Fair enough.
I'm the tryhard.
Yes.
And then the other group, they're called the Seraphites.
Also,
I won't go into what they are exactly, because it's quite interesting.
Yes.
I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ellie goes there and she tries to exact revenge. And there's many twists and turns. One big twist and turn. And another twist and turn at the end of the game.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yes.
Now, if you're someone who's played this game and sends me an email, which I probably will look out for, because I'm generally interested in like people how people perceive this game and how they, at the end of the game, how they felt. If you say no, it was a very bad game, it was trash, I fully understand you. I'm not saying I didn't like the game, but I'm saying that I could understand how people didn't like this.
And I would disagree with you.
Yes, because funny enough, when I bought the game, you were saying, you were just like, because by the way, there was leaks beforehand, and people didn't receive it that well. And I think because the story itself, people didn't receive. Either you thought it was fine, or you thought it was the worst that's ever happened. And you end up liking the game more when I bought it, because you said to me at first, no, we can't get this. Like the leaks, it said it was a bad game. We can't buy this game. Well, and then I bought it.
It was that, and it was also that a half the reviewers on YouTube didn't like it, and the other half thought it was one of the greatest games of the generation.
Well, when it came to the leaks, at least.
Yeah.
But from what I saw, most people were like, "No, this is bad. This is horrible."
From the things I saw, they said it's good.
Yeah. Well, the leaks.
Well, yeah.
Well, the people you saw thought it's fine.
No, because they said it's good. These leaks don't tell the whole story.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. That's what everyone said.
Yeah.
But when the actual leaks, we can't say them without going to the spoiler section. But let's just say that it was looking a bit shaky.
Yeah.
the game release at least. So I bought it and then we played it, and I liked it.
Yeah.
There's some bits in the game I'm like, they should have probably changed this around. But I played it now probably a second, and now I'm on third time playing it again. Because like The Last of Us, the first one, there's a lot of, you can repeat levels and you can repeat encounters
Yeah.
and chapters again and again and again. Because some parts are quite enjoyable. They are enjoyable. They're fun. I know Neil Druckmann said it's not a game that's supposed to be fun. It's fun. It's a game.
It's traumatic. The whole
Yeah, the story is traumatic.
the story's quite traumatic,
and some parts of the gameplay is quite traumatic when you think about it.
Yeah, and the things you kind of do. In
You have to
the
kill a
game-
dog now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Yeah.
But it's fun. You would say that, wouldn't you? The gameplay, at least. It's like it reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 5 in terms of stealth.
Sure, but it's also the word isn't fun. I guess it's the word I wouldn't use.
It's fun. I don't understand the gameplay itself.
Yeah, it's
fun.
responsive and it impacts you.
It's fun. Why can't you say it? Why are you doing a Neil Druckmann saying, "Oh, it's not supposed to be fun"?
I don't think fun is the word to use.
Well, the gameplay.
Yes, it's
What would you
it's
use then?
enjoyable
It's enjoyable. Yes, it's fun.
and it impacts.
Why is
you.
something enjoyable?
And your actions as Ellie impact you in a certain way.
But you need to think: are you talking about the story
But
or the gameplay?
I'm not smiling throughout.
All right, there you go.
When you're killing people and you realise, oh, this person is a person.
Okay.
When you kill the dog.
Yeah.
When they kind of surrender.
No, but just I think as
And
a game, as a you know, you have Call of Duty. When you play it, you don't like, I feel terrible.
But
about
when
killing
they
people."
surrender and then you can have
They
have a
don't
choice.
surrender. It's when you injure them enough, they're just like, okay. Some of them call me a. They do though. But
Yes.
blank that out.
Yes.
No. What are you talking about? It is fun. There's parts of the story and also the gameplay that intertwine. Sure.
But you have to
That's-
admit the whole experience is quite depressing.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. That's fair enough. I would say as a game, it reminds me of Black Mirror, where it's not fun to watch, but it's
interesting.
It's interesting, and you want to watch more of it.
Yeah.
Or at least I say.
Well,
you wanna still
play it.
We're gonna get emails. Why are you yawning? Why are you so tired? You went to sleep last night, right?
Yes.
You didn't do a 25-hour stint, did you? That was fun, wasn't it, Yusuf?
Yes, it was.
Bit of
fun.
context, Yusuf stayed up for like 20... Well, it wasn't 25 hours. It was probably 27, 28 hours.
Yeah, so I worked from like 9 to 5, had a sleep for 2 hours, woke up, worked through the night, did a day's work, went to sleep at like 4:30ish.
You shouldn't give times. Now I'm going to get emails saying, it's not 27 hours. It's actually this long.
Yeah. But then I went to sleep 2 hours, I woke up again, and then I just still doing stuff.
Yeah. Well done. That was
Yeah.
enjoyable. wasn't it? Anyway, back to the game. Yeah, no, it's not enjoyable. As a game, it's not enjoyable. Gameplay wise, it's fun. We can agree to disagree, but I would say it's good. Is that the end of the spoiler section? Because I really want to get to
Yeah,
spoilers. The non-spoilers.
Yeah.
All right, spoiler. Okay, just look. Listen, if you like The Last of Us, you could like this game, or you might really hate it.
In my opinion, you should.
So
Not
what?
You should, but you.
Well, in my opinion, you should play this game. But if you're not sure, just wait for it to drop price.
Yeah, and the reservations people have, I disagree with, but sure, people are entitled to their own view, so I don't really care.
You really want to get to the spoiler section, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. We're getting spoilers. If we get emails saying, "Oh, you went spoilers and I couldn't pause it in time," 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. You had time.
Yep.
You
Great.
had time.
So Joel gets killed.
Yes, Joel dies. If you're still here, you send us emails. I'm gonna read it. I'm just gonna get back to you. Like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. We gave you time.
Yeah.
Shut up. Anyway, so
early on.
and continue to listen to our podcast as well.
Yeah. So early on.
We value your contribution.
Yes.
Anyway, so Joel dies.
Yep. He
The
gets
main
killed.
protagonist of the first game
Yep.
gets killed within the first hours
Yes.
of the game. So should we talk about Ellie's section first, and then
Yes.
we'll talk about how Abby's kind of involved in
Yes.
the whole story of things.
Yeah.
Right. So Joel dies.
Yep.
Abby kills him.
Yep.
Alongside this other group that
Yep.
she's part of.
Yep.
Yeah. How do you feel?
He probably deserved it.
He deserved it, but I didn't want him dead.
Yes.
I imagine he's going to die at one point. I didn't think it would be that soon.
Yes.
I have to be honest.
And from what the material they released out, it appeared that maybe he was going to come along with Ellie to Seattle.
Yeah,
Although
but what they
that-
did, they kind of did what Avenger trailers do. They kind
Yeah.
of mislead. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's fine. it doesn't take away from the game.
Yeah.
I feel. Because the trailer, the thing, even then, I didn't try to watch the trailers before this game came out.
Yeah, and then some people also thought, well, maybe he's just a ghost that follows you around.
Oh, yeah, the first ever trailer they released, I watched that, and everyone was like, oh, he's a ghost.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then that didn't turn out to be.
Yeah, no, it didn't. Well, flashbacks. We'll talk about that.
Yes.
So Joel dies. There's a funeral, and then from that moment, Ellie's there when he dies. And from that moment, she kind of decides that I'm going to go and find these people and kill all of them.
Yeah.
Every single last one of them.
Well, at that point.
Every single last one of them.
Yeah.
Do you know where that's from? From one of the trailers
Yes.
of the game. Anyway, and then Tommy was there as well, but he was knocked out. He was.
Yes. It all starts out when Tommy goes off without telling anyone.
Yeah, because Tommy says to Ellie, we need to leave it. We can't. We don't know how big their group is. We don't know how well armed they are. If we take everyone, it's going to leave Jackson just undefended for other people to attack. We can't go after these people. And then so Ellie goes to Joel's after the funeral, goes to Joel's house, picks up his revolver and his watch, and then you find out Maria comes in and she says Tommy's gone.
Yeah.
So now Tommy's gone off to Seattle to hunt down these people.
Yeah.
And kill them, I imagine. So you go. Maria says, "Fine, you're going as well. Only you and only your friend, who is Dina. It's Dina. So then Maria says, "You're going to Seattle and you're taking Dina with you.
Yeah.
You're the only two people I'm going to send, and that's it."
So you also have to get my husband back.
Yes, that's well.
Yeah.
So this game takes place over 3 days. 3 days in Seattle, where you have to go around, you have to find these people, and you have to kill them. You find a few people who are just already dead. Either Tommy's killed them, Seraphites have killed them.
Yeah.
The other faction in Seattle that are fighting the WLF. And after the first day, you find out Dina's pregnant.
Yeah.
Because Dina's just before this, Dina had a boyfriend called Jesse.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's pregnant. And then you're like, why am I here? What am I doing? But yeah, that's the first day. The first day's pretty okay. It's not too bad. Nothing too bad happens, at least.
Yeah, they finally.
And then Dina finds out Ellie's she's immune because there's a part in the subway somewhere where her mask gets cracked by an infected. Ellie's mask, and Dina's like, "Fine, you can take my mask." And then she's like, "No, I can breathe all this in. I can breathe spores in. It's okay." Yeah. By the way, spores are kind of, there's air where the infection is airborne.
Yeah.
So yeah, her mask gets cracked, and they run for it, but it means that she's breathing without a mask. And Dina's like, "Why can you do this kind of thing?" And
Can I say also those set pieces that they have are quite epic.
They're very good when you just leg it.
When you're legging it,
because in those sections, there's a moment you're like, I can fight this off, and then just more and more come in, and you're like, I can't fight this. We need to run.
Yeah.
So you just leg it.
And you beat up one, and then you just leg it.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. I enjoy that. That's the first day. Second day, you hear something on the radio about some person making all this ruckus from a WF radio, and you're like, that must be Tommy.
Yeah.
So you go outside, you try and find where you think Tommy is.
Yeah.
You find out actually it's Jesse. He's followed you all this way.
Yeah.
And you basically steal a car. That bit's also good. I quite enjoy that.
And then you crash it.
You crash it, but it's also quite good. Yes. Although that car would have been useful just to go around. Yeah. Oh, we should also mention by this time you've met enemies with dogs. Yeah. How do you feel about killing dogs? The thing is, I've played the game enough now on the hardest difficulty where I can go throughout the whole game without killing a single dog.
Yeah.
Oh no,
you have to
kill one at least, but yeah.
But so it's not like Call of Duty when you're getting attacked by dogs.
You
don't feel, when you kill those dogs, you're like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
These dogs, you're like, oh, they've got a handler.
And they've got names.
And it does actually impact you.
They are vicious bastards, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. But I quite like the dogs. So second day, you find Jesse. You bring him back to the theatre, I think it is, you're staying in. And you kind of rest for the day. And then you go out the next day to a hospital because you find out someone called Nora is there. And Nora is one of the people that were in the room when everyone ambushed Joel and killed him. She's actually the one that kind of strikes Tommy with a revolver to his face and knock him out.
Yeah.
That was quite brutal, wasn't it?
It was.
But then you go to the hospital. You kill this person called Whitney, who's playing a PS Vita.
Mm-hmm.
Some product placement. You can also find PlayStation 3s all over the place.
I couldn't, but sure.
I could. They're everywhere. How can you not?
I literally cannot see them.
You're an idiot.
I haven't seen one.
You're an idiot. They're everywhere.
I literally cannot see any of them.
Jesus.
Everyone online is like, oh yeah, they got PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a
Have you
single
not? Have you
one.
not seen a screenshot at least?
I haven't seen the screen.
Every time you see a TV, you can literally see a PlayStation underneath it.
I can't see it. I literally can't.
Jeez. Right. Anyway, fine. You go to the hospital. You find Nora. Oh, you kill Whitney. It's quite sad. She's just playing a PlayStation Vita. Leave her alone.
I mean, she tries to stab
She
you,
does
but
try
sure.
to stab you. Sure. I mean, fair enough now, thinking about it. Anyway, so you find Nora. You kind of corner her. So yeah, you kill Nora.
Okay, so basically, you drop down to infected zone. She's infected. You're not. Cause
It's a good. It's a good bit. I like it.
Yep, and you torture her to death.
Oh, we forgot.
What?
Shamblers.
Oh yes,
They're a new affected type,
they're quite easy to deal. They're like bloaters. You just throw them on.
and they're very slow. Yeah, you just
Yeah.
you shoot them in the head.
Yeah.
They're easy to kill. So you kill Nora. Sorry, you kill Nora with a pipe to her head.
Yes.
It's quite good.
It's
It's quite traumatic.
you're not feeling great by doing this.
Yeah.
Like when you torture someone, it's usually a bad person. You're like, oh, I don't really mind. It's like
I didn't mind killing this person.
Well, like no GTA with Trevor.
Yeah.
You're torturing someone. They're not even that bad. It's just someone. You
Yeah, but they
torture.
make it into a fun thing in GTA, don't they?
It's sort of, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, sort of.
Yes, they do.
Well, it's
Sort
'cause
of.
It's because it's Trevor. That's why.
And
when you're
yeah, then it's a fun thing.
yeah, I know. But when you're torturing them, you don't feel that bad, do you?
No.
When you're torturing, and you don't really find out the information as you're torturing her. You're just hitting her.
No,
with
you
a
do.
pipe.
You do.
And you
It's off screen. It is.
off screen, yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're torturing her, you're like, oh, this isn't good, Fanny.
Yeah. What I do like about this game is they're showing that Ellie's nothing like Joel.
Sure, yeah.
She doesn't. She's not as skilled as a killer as him.
Yeah.
Well, she is when you play the game. But I mean, in terms of the decisions she makes and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
she's not as good as him when it comes to just surviving on the outside
Yeah.
as a kind of murderer going around. But anyway, so you kill Nora and you go back home. It's quite sad.
Well, home being the theatre.
Yeah, the theatre.
Well, then you hear about someone who the fireflies.
There's a
WF.
sniper.
There's a sniper, yes.
Oh no, you go after Abby because you know where she is now. She's in the aquarium.
Yeah.
But halfway through, you hear about this sniper, and Jason's with you the entire time, and he says, "Right, I'm gonna go find Tommy. We need to go and find him." And Amy's like, "No, I'm so close." Basically, well, she doesn't say this, but you can tell by the fact that the way she's speaking, she's saying, "I'm too close to this now." But anyway, you fight about it. You try to find Abby. You find someone called Mel and Owen.
Yeah.
Owen, you'll find out who he is, but Mel, you killed them both.
Yeah.
Ellie tries to do like a weird torture thing that Joel did in the first game.
Doesn't work out.
Doesn't work out because she's just not as good as Joel.
And she didn't have them tied down.
There's that as well.
Chairs.
That's very true. You could have knocked them out first. Anyway, so yeah, you kill both, and then there's a twist, which is quite. I genuinely, when I was playing this bit, I was like, oh no.
Well, it's not a twist. Well, it's not a twist for you because you play as Abby before.
No.
She's pregnant.
Yes.
You find that out.
Yes. When you after you kill her.
No, before that.
You don't.
You do.
You don't.
You do.
You play as Abby after all of this.
You play as Abby at the start, yes.
Yes.
And in there, Owen says, Melanie's pregnant.
You do, but I forgot. It's very true, actually.
So I already knew. When you stab Melanie or is it Melanie?
It's just Mel.
Mel, whatever. When you stab her, I'm like, oh, you've done something very bad.
Yeah,
now.
I only realised after they kind of show her, like, she's heavily pregnant.
Yeah.
She's, like, incredibly heavily pregnant, she is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's quite a bad bit, isn't it?
And then Ellie's just like, oh, God, what have I done?
Yeah, pretty much. And then
Tommy says...
And then Tommy, Jesse and Tommy come in and they kind of say, we need to leave right now.
Yeah, basically.
So you leave, you go back, and after all of this, I think it's that was the turning point with killing a pregnant woman.
Yeah, Ellie's just like,
Ellie's just like, I can't do this anymore. I think she's at her wit's end.
And Tommy's like, no, we should keep going. And she's like, no, let's...
No, Tommy says no, we should also leave. Because he double checks. I think it's Ellie that double checks him saying we're just going to leave Abby then.
Yeah, I think he says it in a way he wants to check with her.
Yeah.
Because I think he's had enough.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, it's all set. You're going to go home.
Yeah.
But
then...
then Abby comes into the theatre, knocks out Tommy to the ground and kills
Shoots
Jesse
Jess
in the head.
Yeah.
And then she says, I gave you a chance and you wasted it, and then that's it. It cuts.
And she really did.
She kind of did when you think about it.
Yeah. And you basically play as her from her perspective since the events of... Well, you're from her perspective of killing Joel onwards.
Yeah. So you play as Abby now.
Yes.
And briefly, the reason why she wants to kill Joel so badly is because, well, Joel killed all those fireflies, right?
Yep.
That doctor you mentioned earlier, Yusuf.
Yes.
He's quite important, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Because number one, he was literally the only one in probably the world that you know of at least that could have performed that surgery to save of humanity and make a vaccine
And make a cure, yeah.
Number two, he's Abby's dad.
Yes.
Duh.
And then when you kill him, because
Yeah.
you end up killing him with a scalpel in...
You can kill him multiple plays in the first game.
You could flamethrower. You could use a flamethrower.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Him,
Yeah,
you could Molotov.
it's
You
quite
could do
bad.
whatever.
Yeah,
You could go to town, mate. Go to town.
yeah. So, yeah, that's quite bad, isn't it? So yeah, so what you find out is all these people, this group of people, they actually are fireflies,
Yeah.
but then the fireflies have been disbanded now. That they don't exist.
Well, they believe it's been disbanded.
Yeah, they don't. It doesn't exist anymore. They've all gone their separate ways, and this group has joined the WLF.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to make do in this world.
Yeah.
But then they hear about Tommy, and then by going to Jackson,
Joel.
no, they hear about Tommy first.
Right.
And then because they say, oh, Tommy's Joel's brother, and he must know where he is.
Yeah.
So and it's just by blind luck that Joel was there, that saved Abby at that time.
Yeah.
And they brought him back, and they just got really lucky with it. And so that's why they want Joel dead, and that's why they kill him. And that's why, and then that's also the reason why they let Tommy and Ellie stay alive as well, because
some of them want them dead, and then Abby's
with Tommy they just leave him alone, but with Ellie she comes in, and then they all aim their guns at her, and then some people like Owen, he's like, no, we're done here. There's only one person we're going after, and that's it. And it's actually at the end it was Abby that actually kind of saved Ellie by saying, that's it, we're done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she kills him with a golf
club.
Yeah, it's quite
Also shotguns his
to the leg.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can see his leg like trailing.
Yeah.
And it's something about this game. It's incredibly.
It's
brutal.
very gruesome.
It's very gruesome
and brutal. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
But anyway, so as Abby, there's this kind of sub story about saving this person. These two people that were part of the Seraphites. They're a religious group. I actually want people to play the game
Yes.
because I quite like that kind of group.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy them.
Well,
they are generally terrifying to fight against.
Yes.
Because in the game, you can get around when you're fighting enemies, human enemies. They scream and shout at each other, and you can hear where they are. You can hear what they're about to do and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
These guys, they're nothing like that. They whisper to one another. They will use whistles.
Yeah.
That only if you've got subtitles on, you can work out what they mean.
Yeah.
But I imagine if you play this game enough times, you can work out what each
they mean. Yeah.
whistle means. But they are terrifying.
And when you first interact with them, it's in a park, and you get shot with a bow and an arrow.
Yeah, you pull out the arrow.
And it's the most scariest.
Sorry, this is when you're playing as Ellie as well. By the way.
And it is one of the scariest kind of.
Yeah, because
you're just like, what the hell?
It's just an entirely new faction. You hear about them all the time. You've seen what they can do because they hang everyone. They cut open their stomachs.
Yeah.
So they are terrifying.
Yeah.
Like just before meeting them, and then you actually meet them, and you're like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to Abby. It's based. The sub story is it's kind of two parts. One part is you are the WLF. You're part of the WLF. You're Wolf. You're kind of a foot soldier, but you're the leaders. His name is Isaac. You're one of his most trusted soldiers out there because you're good at what you do.
Yeah.
And you're just out there. You're fighting the WLF. He tells you about this plan to go and invade their island and finish this war once and for all. Because there have been attempts at truces before, but what happens is one person on one side, another person on the other side always breaks it, and then they go back to fighting. So he wants the war to end at the cost of which it means invading this island where all the Seraphites are and killing every single last one of them.
So essentially genocide.
Pretty much. Or just a massacre at the moment. And he's also voiced by Jeff.
Guy from Westworld.
He's very good. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
And when he came on the screen, I heard his voice. I'm like, I know who that guy is. And I genuinely enjoy that. Anyway, so that's one kind of sub story, and then the other one is you find these kind of Seraphite runaways.
Yeah.
And you are trying to basically essentially just save them and get them out.
Yeah, and it's weird for Abby because she's always seen.
Because these two factions have always been at war. and she's actually feeling something for these two people.
Yeah.
So, and also I think it's implied that she, because of what she did to Joel, had an effect on her, and she wants to do something, I want to say good, but something, saving a life, let's say that,
Yeah.
instead of taking one. So there's this entire story behind it. You end up being on the island, and everything looks terrible.
Yep.
If you play this game, that's probably the highlight in terms of action, but also just what the PS4 can show.
Yeah.
And it looks amazing. Also, at the same time, it's all terrible.
Yeah.
It's just everyone's murdering one another.
And not like shooting each other, they're like getting
Yes.
machetes and doing all sorts.
Oh, did I say Lev or Lily?
Lev.
Good. Because that's another part I want to talk about. So one of the characters is called Lev. Now, when you're fighting against Seraphites, they call her Lily, or him Lily.
Yeah.
Now, you find out this, they've actually introduced, I think for the first time I can remember, at least in the game that I've played, a transgender character.
Yeah.
Now, I remember seeing, during the leaks, something about that, and the worst case in my head was they're going to do this in the most ham-fisted attempt of trying to put a character in.
Yeah.
And they didn't. It was actually, they did it really well.
And no one seemed to care.
Yeah, no one seems to. That wasn't the major part of like the people hated. There's only probably 4 or 5 people that hated that part of the game. I'm like, you guys
would say,
idiots.
"Oh, there's a transgender character," and they just move on.
Yeah, because it's probably a good thing about the writing where they say Lev says, do you hear what they're calling me? And they're calling her Lily.
Yeah.
And then Abby says yes. And then she says something like, do you want to talk about it? And Lev says, not really. And they do eventually talk about it later, but I thought that was a great way of trying to be like, just accept this, move on.
I think Lev says, do you want to talk? Do you want to ask me any questions about that? And Abby says,
do you want me to?
do you want me to? And she's like, not really. He's
No.
like, fine then.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's great writing.
Yeah. Because they could have, there's a million ways they could have got that wrong.
Yeah.
Because they do talk about it later on, because Yara, who's the sister to Lev,
Yeah.
she explains why Lev is now is a boy.
Yeah. And basically, they're trying to kill him because he shaved his hair off.
Yeah, and in that society, only what they see is the men of the group can shave their heads off, and then all the women, they have this kind of weird, I want to say Handmaiden Tale-esque kind of Mrs. Trunchbull kind of hairstyle. But yeah, I thought that was a very good part of the game, the way they introduced that.
And that whole piece when you first meet Lev and Yara, when you're getting hung by the Seraphites, and then suddenly it just switches to your fighting.
Something into gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's one of the greatest.
That switch was amazing. That was.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched these people called Girlfriend Reviews,
yes,
watch it, because there's a bit in there where I'm just going to end up copying and pasting. But as Abby, you feel you're much stronger.
And you are stronger.
You are stronger.
You're
And you feel it as well.
Yeah.
That's another thing we'll talk about. The whole controversy about Abby.
Yeah.
Being just built like a tank. Just what? Anyway, so as Abby, as Ellie, you're trying to be more stealthy.
Yeah.
As Abby, I don't know why, I just felt like being more action orientated and just beating the hell out of people.
Yeah.
With just anything, like with my fists I have to. But I like that part of the game as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to still work out which half the game I enjoy more. But I thought both parts are really strong.
Also,
the only thing I would say in terms of story is they don't intertwine that much.
Yeah.
They do intertwine at the end, but not too much during...
To explain, that Abby's story is set over the same number of days,
3 days.
as Ellie's, but they interact with different locations at different times. Usually it's Abby there first, and then it's something you'll see as Ellie.
Yeah. So for instance, you might meet this group of WLF soldiers.
Yeah.
And a dog called Bear.
Yeah.
But also as Ellie, you go and actually fight that group and kill the little dog called Bear.
Who you can pair as Abby.
Yeah.
And then I thought you just slice open.
And there's a lot of similarities between the two kind of storylines.
Yeah.
So in one case, it's Ellie from Jackson. You at the start you kind of see like how life is lived within Jackson, and then as Abby, you kind of see how life is lived within a stadium where most of the civilians live.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Also, you meet a guy called Manny who does spit on Joel's dead corpse.
Yes.
So you don't like him at the start, but then when you meet him like as Abby,
yeah,
I really liked him.
Yeah.
He's a very good character.
And also, when you're fighting alongside with him, he's quite useful.
Quite useful as well.
Yeah.
Gets his head blown off.
Yes.
Yeah, by
And
Tommy.
And it splatters.
That
all
bit
over
is
the
also
place.
quite good as well.
Yes.
Because as Ellie, you hear about the sniper,
Yeah.
and it's Tommy, and Jesse said, "I'm gonna go after him." And then what happens as Abby? You're actually there trying to fight.
Tommy.
You don't know it's Tommy initially,
Yeah.
but when you get close to him and you see his face, you're like, "Oh, that's Tommy."
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then you're in this weird mindset where you're like, I need to stop that guy.
Yeah,
But it's Tommy.
It reminds me, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
The Battle of the Burning Fields, or whatever it's called. That's what I call it in my head.
Yeah.
But it's the one with there's Bronn on one side and
Yeah.
Jaime on one side, and then there's Daenerys and stuff on the other side. And you're just like, I don't want any of them to die.
But you want both sides to win. So
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, the game progresses. You go on the island. Everything looks terrible and bad. You go back to the aquarium where you're trying to find Owen and Mel.
Yep.
You find them dead, and we also find out as Ellie was leaving, she dropped her map,
Yeah.
which shows where they were, and they
Yeah.
were where they have been over those 3 days, and then also their home base, which is the theatre.
Yeah. And when she drops her map, this is one of the critiques of the things. Like, oh, that's convenient that she drops her map.
We'll talk about that later because it's just.
Yeah, but for now, can I just say she doesn't drop it, like she doesn't like take it out of her pocket and throw it to the ground. She's like, oh no, I better forget about this.
She just killed a pregnant woman. She's losing her mind over this,
Yes.
and then it just dropped out. That's
Yeah.
literally what happened.
Yeah.
You're with Lev, by the way,
Yes.
and it comes to a head in the theatre.
Yeah.
You're playing as Abby and you're trying to kill Ellie.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
I don't know. I think that point I liked Abby a bit more.
You're gonna get emails.
I don't get hate for that, but I did enjoy her character. Her story arc throughout the game at that point was more interesting to me than Ellie's at that point. Because with
'Cause
Ellie,
I was
you
gonna say,
you see her descent into becoming a
yeah, it's kind of like she's going down into this dark pit, and then Abby's trying to rise from that dark pit,
Yeah.
and they meet each other at that
basically.
point. And so when I was playing it, like the first thing you have to do is trying to run at her while she's shooting at you.
Yeah.
I remember shooting back, and I went, "What am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? Why am I shooting back against Ellie?" And then you have to go. It's a whole like kind of boss battle type thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of there's a bit where you see Abby. She suddenly says, "I'm not going to be like this anymore." Where she's about to kill Dina.
Yeah. There's a
And,
knife to her neck.
And then Ellie says, "Leave her alone. She's pregnant." And then she says, "Good." And then she's about to cut open her throat.
Yeah.
And then Lev's there. It's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then Abby's like, "Okay." And then they go off their ways. And I remember at that point, I went, I don't have to feel about this.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a Batman vs Superman where I just felt like I'm just confused.
Yeah.
With this,
You're happy that both sides have survived.
I'm happy, but also like
but
Ellie,
no one's won.
no one's won. Like Ellie hasn't got the revenge that she probably deserves or she really needs.
And she's lost more people from this
Yeah.
than gained.
Yeah. And then anyway, so it skips. Was it a couple of months?
Yeah.
It's been probably, I want to say 9 months at least, because Dina's given birth to a little baby.
Yep.
A little baby JJ. Very
Yes.
cute little bundle of joy.
Potato.
Potato.
Yes.
Yes. You know, there's a bit at the start of the game where you see this kid coming out of the classroom. I went, "That's the cutest thing I've seen in my life." It's like with a dad and his little kid,
Yeah.
and in the snow, and got little booties on, and a little hat on, and little muffins on. I went, that's the cutest thing in the world. Yeah, it's quite nice.
Shame you start killing the parents of said children.
I don't do that. I've managed to do the game and play the game now where I don't kill that many people.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like Solid Snake.
Yeah.
I don't get that reference. I sort of get that reference.
It's Metal Gear. And
Yeah, I understand that, but I haven't played the games, so
Oh, I have.
I kind of get it,
Yeah.
but I kind of don't. Anyway, so
Camouflages with the.
yeah, I know that. But then there's a Solid Snake, and then there's Big Boss, and then there's Boss, and then there's a nurse, and then there's a weird tentacle monster in a hospital. Anyway, so and then there's Quiet. Let's not talk about her.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She's fine. It's just anyway. So So
Konami, you're an interesting lad. That's
he's a
what I have to say.
very ingenious man. He is.
Yeah.
We'll talk about his games one day when we play all of them. But also,
anyway,
especially Death Stranding, you sir.
Yeah.
Which you will love.
No.
Yeah.
But anyway, Tommy, he survived it. He got a bullet to his head, but
Yes,
he survived.
he
it.
survives.
He got walked as well.
You're now living on a farm. You kind of talk about this early in the game, at the start of the game with Dina, about
Yeah.
living on a farm. So live on a farm now. Ellie's still suffering. She is. You don't see it straight away, but there's a bit when you were in a barn, and it's just like a I think it was a rake that dropped or something like that.
Yeah.
And that kind of sound reminded her of Joel getting like a club to his head or something like that.
Yeah.
So she gets a panic attack, and you can still tell that she hasn't got over this.
Yeah.
And then Joel,
Tommy.
Tommy visits, and he says, "I've been putting feelers out, and he's heard of this woman
By the
who's
way,
bought like an ox
yeah.
and a boy."
Yeah. Which
That's-
is basically Lev and...
That's Abby
And
and
Abby.
Lev.
But, by the way, at this point, Tommy's life has gone to...
Yes, he's broken up Maria.
Yep.
They haven't said it, but I'm like,
he
yeah.
can't, like, walk properly.
He can't. He's got limp like leg kind of thing.
So you can't really do anything.
Yeah, he's kind of blind. I think he's blind in one eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of cost him a lot. Everything.
And all he's got is trying to kill this lady who killed his brother.
Yeah, and he's saying to Ellie, like, "You promised me
Yeah.
that you're gonna go and even when we're coming back and we lost everything, you promised me you're gonna still find it and kill her," kind of thing. And then Dina's like, "No, we're done with that. We're done with that, lads."
Yeah.
Skip a bit. Ellie does go
Eddie does go, yeah.
because she just can't. She can't let it go. Pretty much.
Let it
Let it go. Let
No.
it go.
Anyway.
You know, Frozen 2's out.
Yep. I still haven't seen Frozen 1.
It's fine. Lion King is a better movie. Anyway, we'll talk about that probably in the future.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda's amazing.
Yes.
There's people on my work probably listen to this and they're like, "This guy's an idiot." Everyone else that's not probably from my work. In one of my old teams, I used to say Kung Fu Panda as a trilogy is amazing, and everyone's like, "No, it's not. It's terrible." And some people's opinions I valued far greater than others, because some people didn't watch movies.
Fair enough.
Like, but anyway, so I'll talk about that probably one day.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you make it to Saints somewhere in California.
Yeah, it's San something.
San something. Not San Francisco. It's San something else. Earlier in the game, Abby is talking to Owen, and Owen's convinced because he's heard from certain people there are fireflies out there. They're still active.
Yeah.
There's a headquarters there.
Yeah.
We need to go there one day, and so that's the reason why Abby has gone there. So as Ellie, you're just following her.
Yeah.
Abby ends up hearing that there are fireflies alive. They're quite close by, and they make their way there, and they get attacked by this new faction called the Rattlers.
Who we don't really know much about.
They're slave owners.
We find that out after.
Yes.
And they've got military style equipment.
Yeah. So
And
they're quite tough to fight.
Yeah.
But they're also for some reason they keep infected within the compounds, so you
Yeah.
can just let them go.
Yeah.
That's quite fun. That is. I really enjoy that part of the game where if you haven't got much on you, what you can do is use the environment to try and either get around enemies or get infected to start fighting the enemies that there are. And so as Ellie, you go after them and also kind of get captured. I like that bit as well.
Yeah.
there's a bit where Ellie's been injured by a trap.
Yeah.
She's lying on the ground. The rattlers come along. They release her, and one of the rattlers also. Part of the trap is in effect the clicker. The clicker nearly bites his head off, but it
Yeah.
doesn't. And then Eddie's like, she starts laughing a bit, and then he's like, "What's wrong?" And he says, "Oh, you just shit your pants." And then he's like, "You little bitch." Like, I like the shit talking that she does.
Yeah. Which gets
and
those guys killed.
yeah, it gets them killed, but it's just funny.
Yeah.
Like it's good writing. I like it a lot. Anyway, so she hears that Abby's been captured by these guys, and she goes after them. So you go through this compound, and then you find Abby on this crucifix. She looks nothing like what you last saw her as. Like before, she was built like a tank. She's not that anymore. She's got like really short hair now. She looks terrible. She does.
Yeah.
And you find Lev as well. You don't fight straight away.
You free them.
You free them. You get to the boats, and I think by that point Ellie's like, okay, I'm not going to fight this person. But then she has this flashback to Joel on the floor,
Yeah.
and his bloodied face and everything, and then I think that's what starts her again, saying, "No, you need to kill this person." So you have this kind of epic. I want to say epic because it actually was quite epic.
And Abby doesn't want to fight.
Abby doesn't want to fight, and as Ellie, you kind of threaten to slice open up a little boy's throat to try and fight Abby, which is quite dark.
And the fight itself is incredibly brutal.
It's not if you ever played the Uncharted games, which we'll talk about one day. Uncharted 4, the boss battle in that I really liked because it's kind of cinematic and it's epic, and it's all about timing and all that kind of stuff. With this, it's similar, but it's not the same where there's this obvious bad person you have to defeat. With this, you're fighting as Ellie against Abby, who I think by now you should have been like she's not a bad person.
Yeah.
She's done terrible things. In this world, that there are good people, they just do terrible things.
Yeah.
And Abby's one of them, and you're trying to fight them. I remember because I remember watching you when you were playing that last bit of the game, and I remember there's points where you just put your controller down, or like you just didn't do anything because you're like, no, I don't want to fight this person.
Because I was seeing maybe somehow both sides can walk away.
No.
And it's like, nope.
You don't understand humans, Yusuf.
Yes.
We don't do that.
Eventually, Ellie starts drowning Abby.
There's a bit when you put a knife like near enough to her heart. Abby's heart.
Yeah, and then it stabs through, and you're just like, oh, God.
And then you can like the good thing about this game as well, because of the graphics, you can see the facial animations, or how
it's not pretty.
It's terrifying. Like when you're doing that, you can see Abby like on the verge of like not crying, but just you can see the fear in her face, and you're like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
this is terrible.
And when you're in a fist fight section, the way Ellie hits her Abby's face, it's the sound that makes it really.
Yeah, because by now they're just both exhausted. They're both not like they're not 100%. Because by now Ellie, she's gone really skinny. She's probably not eating anymore.
Yeah.
Because of what Abby did. She's injured. She's not herself. At least physically. And both of them are just they're just exhausted. Yeah. They're just knocking each other about, and it gets to the point where, as Ellie, you start drowning Abby.
Yeah.
And I remember you have to mash square, and I remember at that point I went, I don't want to do this.
And then I stopped.
It's kind of like BioShock, the first game.
Yeah.
As a game, it made you question every time you get a new objective or anything like that, new task in the game, and you do it without question. That game started to make you question everything you do in games.
Yeah.
And this reminded me of that, as in, I don't want to do this, but the game is making me do it. And then you get this flashback, because you stop drowning her, because you get this flashback to Joel. And by now, by the way, Joel has told Ellie, I lied. You were the vaccine.
Yeah, you get flashbacks.
Yeah.
For both Abby
throughout
and
the game.
Ellie.
Yeah, throughout the game.
And you find out.
So sorry. The flashbacks with Abby, it's mainly about your dad being dead.
Yep.
And you trying to find out, or building yourself up to fight Joel.
Yep.
With Ellie, it's more about questioning what you do now. Seeing that you thought you were the cure for mankind.
Yeah.
But now you're not. You have no purpose.
Yeah.
And then there's a bit in the game where she works out. She goes back to the hospital, and she works out that she was probably the only one.
Yeah.
Someone's killed everyone because there's a voice recording, and you go outside, you meet Joel, and he says, "Okay, I lied."
Yeah.
And he says it in a way where he says, "I don't regret it," kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's either I had a choice, and I think I made the right choice. And
he said if I had the same choice, I would
that's at the end. That's it at the end, because you think, even when Joel dies, you think they got off at the
Well, you hear from Ellie early on that they're going to watch a movie.
Yeah,
you're kind of aware that they're not getting along.
Yeah, they're just not talking to one another, and you feel that by the time Joel died, they didn't really say sorry to one another.
Yeah.
But then you find out they kind of, in their own way, they did say sorry.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes the whole situation worse when you think about it, because you're like, they didn't really get that time to start talking to one another again.
Yeah.
But that part of the game I really liked, that flashback. And yeah, you just kind of like to Abby just go.
Yeah.
And then one of the last shots of that game is just her on the beach by herself.
Yeah.
And I think I screenshotted it. Or there's like kind of concept art out there that I want to put as my background, because it just looks amazing. But that's pretty much in the game.
Yeah, I mean, the final ending is that she goes at the farm. Dina and JJ have now moved away.
Or have they?
Well,
Because there is an idea that she's been to Jackson because she doesn't have Dina's necklace, kind of not necklace, bracelet,
right.
which Dina gave to her
Yeah.
beforehand as like luck. So she might have. It might be a good ending.
Yeah, maybe.
We don't know though. But yeah, so it kind of the end of the game is basically Ellie saying, "I've kind of learnt now that I'm not going to get him back by
Yeah.
doing any of this stuff. So that's it. I'm done."
Yeah.
So and oh yeah, she also loses 2 fingers during
Yeah.
that fight, which is quite brutal. But yeah, it's not a fun ending. It's not a happy, nice ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster.
Yes.
I liked it,
And I thought the game as a whole.
and I think you liked it more than me.
Yes, because I thought the game as a whole was a good game. The structure of the game was fine. Gameplay was good. As Abby, you get different different
Equipment,
different
skills, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I was like, this is a good game.
And I remember you saying to me that Neil Druckmann is a genius.
I did.
Yeah.
Because I was like, cause let's be honest, the previous person that I looked up to was Todd Howard.
We talked about that previously.
And I thought, here's a guy who, so you can tell one's a writer and the other one isn't. The other one is like the Michael Bay of like the gaming world, who likes these big spectacle things that don't really pay off,
Yeah.
and the story isn't that great. The other guy was like, no, the story is what matters, and
Yeah.
that's the sense point that everything else should be built around.
And it's a much more creative way of telling the story than
Yeah.
the first. The first game was more linear.
Yeah.
This one's a much more creative kind of
Now
use of timeline.
the problem with that structure of the game where you put the story at the center and build everything around it is that if the person who plays it doesn't like the story, they will have a hard time liking this game.
Yeah. Which I get.
But-
So when people said I hate this game, it's
But
trash. I get it.
The reasons that they give for not liking the game don't really make.
Yeah, there's some reasons I'm like, no, you're like if you just didn't like the story because you didn't like where it went as towards
Yeah,
the
you
ending.
didn't like how Joel got killed and all that kind
Towards
of stuff.
the ending, all that kind of stuff. Fine, that's okay. You're not gonna like this game. But there are people out there that say, like for instance, everything is a coincidence in this game. Like they just happened to meet Joel and Tommy. Abby did
That's
all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
That's storytelling though.
Yeah.
It's like in the first game. There's a bit. You know, as Ellie, David is on top of you.
Yeah.
And you get the machete because it's just within reach.
Yeah.
That's a coincidence as well. A lot of things within storytelling is coincidence,
Yeah.
but it's just because it's storytelling. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
There you go. Well done.
It's not like a lot of these like loopholes and stuff. They say, oh, we just happen to be this. It's like, yeah. But it's not like it's not a crazy idea that, for example, she runs into Joel and Tommy when she's been following these tracks, who we all assumed it was someone else, but it turns out to be them, and it's like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then there's people that says, oh, it's SJW stuff. They're taking over our games. They're adding themes. They're adding themes to our games, Yusuf.
Yeah.
I don't want themes.
Even
I
though it
just
makes-
want a game.
Okay, if you want just the game,
Yes.
play Battlefront 2. That's just the game.
That's not a good game. It's fine.
That is a game.
It's
got
not
no
good.
Story. It's got no story.
It's got
to it,
it's got
really.
a story.
Sure. That is good. It's got a
It's
game.
got an amazing story.
It's got
Yusuf.
arcade.
Ivan Versio, mate.
If you love games, play that. If you don't want themes, anything like that, just play that.
We'll play Skyrim.
Skyrim's got themes. Skyrim's got.
I just said that to get you annoyed.
Skyrim's got themes and ideas and stuff.
But it's just, you know what? It reminds me of, you know, The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
It reminds me of this because there's parts of The Last Jedi that I didn't like, and I think universally people didn't like. But as a whole, it was, as a movie, I think it was fine. I could understand if you hated that movie,
Yeah.
but it's just the conversation after that movie was just the most toxic thing I've ever seen in
But-
my life.
So I think it's the same for us too.
Then
We
again,
did-
I just didn't care.
We didn't hate that film because there was a central theme to it that we just didn't like. The idea of like the past doesn't matter, let's do something new. Like that we didn't really care about. It was like but parts of the film, like certain sections, certain like linear points, like the casino and all that kind of stuff. We didn't like that stuff. But it wasn't central to the story. The people who don't like this game hate it or dislike it because, let's for example, Joel's dead, which is central to the story.
Yeah.
They don't like it because Abby isn't a likable character, even though in
I
my
liked
mind
her.
she is.
Yeah.
Because she's got
They
flaws.
also didn't like the fact that she was jacked.
Also that.
Even at the start of her storyline, you see a gym with everyone, and then she's on the leaderboard
Yeah.
for like, I think it's deadlift or something like that.
Yes.
And
And
I generally, women can be jacked. You do realise that?
yeah. And well, that's the, they say, oh, that's not realistic. It's like, I know women who
Have you not
deadlift.
seen Olympians?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. It's like, okay, she's clearly not got the strength of the average like lady. She's clearly someone who's trained in the gym.
Did you not see
Hence
Mrs.
why she's big
Yes,
and strong.
yes. Did you not see Mrs. Trunchbull
Yes.
in Matilda
Yeah.
chuck a kid
Yeah.
out the window?
Yes.
Did you not see that?
Yes.
I know it's not real life, but again, did you not see that?
Yeah.
She was terrifying as a kid.
Yeah, she was.
Oh.
But the thing is, like, none of the criticisms, and then the main criticism, which is, I can see why they think, and it's the one I probably emphasize the most, is like, oh, Ellie kills all these, like, people, which you don't have to do, but you do kill certain people,
Yeah.
at least, like, a couple of people. But
Yeah.
generally in the game, you probably kill, like, over about 100 people
Hmm.
to get to Abby just to kill her, but then you don't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that is true. What you're saying is completely right.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it's like all the other games with the heroes, they kill people.
Yeah, because I used to say to you about, Uncharted. You haven't played those games, but I said
I've seen them, yeah.
I said like Nathan Drake has murdered 1,000 people.
Yes.
1,000 people. And just a minor spoiler, in Uncharted 4, there's a bit where you meet him as a family kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, if he has a kid, he's explained to the kid, I've murdered so many people.
Yeah.
I've killed so many people with an AK-47.
It's the same like with Tomb Raider, same
Yeah.
with like God of War, right? It's like, oh, we know, Kratos is a bad person.
Yeah,
He's trying
Kratos,
to do something good.
he's a god. He's murdered a million different people. And
he-
even he says, I've killed many people who are deserving and who many are not.
and may have not. And it's like, we applaud that. We
Yeah.
say, that's good.
Yeah,
That's a good character.
yeah.
But with someone who does bad things, who's a good person, does bad things, and tries to do some good again, we're like, well, no, we don't like that.
Yeah.
It's like,
But I get why people don't like it.
I
'Cause
get
people,
it.
there are people who are huge fans of the first game who love Joel so much.
I
So number one, they hate the fact that Joel's dead.
yeah.
And number two, they hate the fact that they might be fine with Joel's dead, but they might hate the fact that as a character, like,
Yeah.
you can't then exact revenge.
Yeah. But it makes the story that more
Yeah.
sharp compared to other ones.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, if you criticize that game because of that, fine. But let's criticize other game on that point.
Hmm.
Like Call of Duty, Captain Price and Soap. We love those characters.
Yes.
But they did go to certain areas around
They've
the world
murdered so
and
many
they murdered people that probably had families. Like the favelas, they went in there and they just tore that place apart.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, we got the bad
But
guy.
then I guess people would say the whole point of this game is teaching us that it's like a ham-fisted attempt at teaching us that murder is bad or
That-
killing is bad.
Yes,
But the thing is, I never saw.
but that's I don't think that's the moral of the story here.
Yeah, I always saw this game as or the story in this game as it's about obsession.
Obsession. I think
Yeah.
that's what Neil Druckmann said. He's like, he didn't say revenge, cycle revenge and stuff like that. He always used that word obsession.
Yeah, because there is a vengeance type
Yeah.
and, kind of bent to it.
Yes.
But then I remember thinking there's a bit in the game, like I said, where you find out that Tommy is nearby and they're sending a lot of men towards him.
yeah.
And then Ellie's nearby to the aquarium where Abby is, and then she makes a choice saying, no, I need to get Abby because she's so close and I need to get her.
yeah.
And she makes that active choice. Then by then you can see that she's obsessed with the idea of killing Abby.
Yeah. And it's also like Tommy. This whole thing could have been averted if Tommy when Joel said let's go back to Jackson, and Tommy said no, I'm not bringing those lot back to Jackson.
Well, no, because he said we can't make it all that way.
He said we can, but we're going to bring this whole horde over there.
Mm.
But then my point is, where you brought that whole horde over to that place that they were the Firefly /
yeah.
WF were living in, it's like you probably could have dealt with that.
Yeah, that's very true.
But Tommy in the previous game,
But
and in
it's
this
about
game-
it's about making choices in the moment.
yeah.
And there are consequences to those
Yeah.
choices.
But that's the thing. It's just like, half the criticisms I don't understand. Half of them I don't understand. I don't think they're valid. Some of them are valid.
Yeah, like in
But-
terms of the structure of the story, because it is. You have to admit it's quite abrupt. You have to admit it's quite abrupt when it comes to playing as Ellie and then suddenly playing as Abby.
Yeah,
Because I will say that was like just a
and to be
major
fair,
switch.
when I first played as Abby, I was like, I don't want to go around collecting all this stuff to upgrade my
Yeah.
gear and stuff.
Yeah.
But then they gave you like different gear,
Hmm.
and it's like, oh, okay, so this could be interesting.
Yeah. So I get that, and in my head I'm trying to still work out if they should have made it a bit more mixed.
Well, I remember you said, I think I remember
But but the thing was, I said about making day 1 Ellie and then day 1 Abby, day 2 Ellie, and that kind of way of doing it. But then I've played it now. Now it's my third time playing it through. I've beaten on the hardest difficulty, and I'm still trying to decide if that's what they should have done. But I played it enough times now where it's not a major
I think
problem.
if they did do that, you would have had to. Because I remember you criticised the fact that you always do flashbacks and it always broke up the story.
Yeah, well, so it says one thing I don't like about in stories is when there's a flashback within a flashback. So when you're playing as Ellie and you get to the bit where you're in the theatre and Tracy's been shot in the head,
Yeah.
and then Abby says, "I let you go and you've done nothing with it," or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there's a flashback to the 3 days beforehand,
Yeah.
and then within that flashback, there's further flashbacks for Abby.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You can take it either way.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you broke up the story, so it's day 1 Ellie, day 1 Abby, I would imagine that you'd be sitting there saying, well, they shouldn't have done that because it's broken up the story and it's not.
And you
Yeah,
could say
fine.
it's fragmented and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
fragmented.
Yeah.
I think the way they did it was probably the only possible way they could have done it. The only other way they would have done it is put all the flashbacks before
Hmm.
and then do the main story. But then it's like, okay, here, we're going to sell you Last of Us 2. You're going to be Ellie who goes on this quest to deal with this traumatic event that we won't tell you yet. But the first thing you do is start playing as Ellie as a child and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, because all those flashbacks all
But
together,
then, do you think that would have heightened the stakes a bit more
not really.
if you did those flashbacks as Ellie first and Abby as first,
Hmm.
and then you can finally understand initially like why is Joel dead?
But then you would have done flashbacks as Ellie,
Hmm.
and then what? Do the flashbacks as Abby?
Yeah, Abby as well. So literally the start of the game would have been probably Joel at the start. You need to go and meet Ellie.
Yeah.
But then I think so the first event of the timeline
Yeah.
is Abby with her dad
Yes.
and there's a zebra.
Zebra.
And then from there on, it would have been her finding out that her dad had died. It would have been Ellie growing up in Jackson, like her birthday in
And
the museum.
I could then imagine people start criticizing, saying, "Oh, it takes a while." For
Yeah,
it
no.
to
Then
get-"
people probably say like, "Why are you playing as this other character?"
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very true.
and it's just like, okay, how far? You could rearrange it into that way, but
Maybe we should leave it to the experts to make games, and we can just sit here and
Yeah.
say, "Oh, that was
I
alright."
think in the way they did it, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
People say it's fragmented. It's like they're trying to tell a story here.
Yeah, it's
They've
fine.
decided that way.
Like that's something. So if you're PewDiePie, and because he I remember seeing headlines saying, "Oh, he's mad at this game," and when you actually watch like his live stream, at the end he just says, "I didn't like it, but they made the game they wanted."
Yeah.
So yeah, fair enough. And if you're one of those people that didn't like this game, I would say, or think they won't like this game, I'll say either play it but wait for the the price to drop,
Yeah.
or if you spent £60 on the pre-order, bad luck, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that's happened to us before where we bought.
Yes.
Well, not to me,
Fallout,
to
yes.
you, yeah.
But
With Fallout 4.
yeah, but
Because we bought games where we've pre-ordered it, we've done everything, because
So
we wholeheartedly think that this is going to be a great game to play, and it
Yeah.
just wasn't. Like,
Yeah.
in our view, at least. Like, because there's probably people out there that enjoy Fallout 4.
with Last of Us 2, that is more peculiar. People did that and then expected a great game because it's like there was those leaks beforehand.
Yeah, there was leaks
And-
beforehand,
and they
but
might
even
not-
then, the pre-orders were still up.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
they might not have read those leaks, but they were. Everyone was aware of those leaks. It was like the biggest story in the gaming world that the main story points have been leaked.
Yeah.
And I think there's like videos saying, is it ethical to leak a whole story for a game of like a AAA game?
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. But then the other thing as well that I also agree with people that really hate this game, or dislike the game, is the working practices of Naughty
Yes.
Dog. Now, so me and you will always dislike organizations that do crunch,
Yeah.
because now for some reason now it's become a staple of most gaming organization, even CDPR,
CD Projekt Red. Yeah.
because they've said that we do have crunch and we're trying to find ways of trying to lessen that.
Yeah.
But with Naughty Dog, they did it to their, like, I think most of the team now that worked on this game, they've left Naughty Dog because they just had enough.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I get.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of, that kind of sucks as well. And then people were trying to report on the leaks on YouTube. Sony was finding ways to getting all those videos down.
Yeah, and it wasn't just people who were saying, "Oh, this is the leak." It's people discussing the leak and saying, "Oh, it's a bad thing that's happened."
Yeah.
Sony would have taken that down.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay,
It's bizarre.
How far you can go with this?
It is. It's bizarre. Yeah. It's, on the whole, I like the game. I want to see a third one. That'd be nice.
And that's another people.
Even though I don't know. I genuinely don't know where it would go.
Yeah, and people, for some reason, I don't know where they read this from or where they've seen it from. They said, "Oh, the third one, you'll be Abby."
Yeah, I
if it is, I wouldn't mind.
I don't know. It depends what they do.
Exactly, that's the thing.
It
I
depends
wouldn't mind Abby
depends
as
what
a
they do.
character.
But yeah, I like this world. I want them to become. I want them to release a multiplayer.
Yeah,
That'll be good as well. 1 hour and 30 minutes, Yusuf, we've been talking.
Oh boy.
My word. What would you say your last comments are of The Last of Us Part 2?
I think it's a good game.
Yes, I like it as well.
It's the game.
I don't regret my purchase.
It's the best game that is now will sign off the PS4 basically.
Yeah, well, there's still other games to come out on the PS4.
Yeah, but most of them will be shared across from PS4.
Yeah, but so will
PS5.
this one, I imagine.
It will probably.
Yeah.
But it'll be like a remastered version.
Yeah, probably would be. But I liked it a lot as well.
But I think this is the game that it's like Last of Us, the first one that signed off
the
the
PlayStation
PS3,
3.
that
Even though
generation
I would
console.
also say this, for me it wasn't. I imagine it to be the game of the generation, console generation for me,
Yeah,
and it wasn't.
it's Witcher 3, isn't
Witcher 3, yeah.
it? Yeah. And but that's the thing. It's like, but both games are similar in the sense that it's really it pinpoints on the story as the main thing you need to be concerned with when making a game,
Yeah.
especially a AAA game
Yeah.
that has those RPG elements and
Well, that's another thing I was also thinking about. You know, when it comes to AAA games,
yeah.
because most of them don't actually do too well, do they? When you think about it,
Well, some
like,
of them
there's
sell-
there's GTA's and Red Dead's and all that
yeah,
kind of stuff.
those sell great.
But then there's like Fallout 4. I mean, just be clear, financially, most of them are successful. I mean, critically though.
Yeah, critically it's weird because sometimes critically they do really really well, and then with the actual customer base they don't like it that much.
Yeah.
And then sometimes the customer base love this game so much, and the critics are like, actually it's quite a limited game. It's like The For Honor.
I hate that game. I don't hate it. It's not a bad game. I just can't play it.
And critics say, oh, it's an interesting idea, but it didn't pan out as well. But I think it's been 4 or 5 years since it first came out,
And it's still being supported.
It's still being supported. Still new content being released.
Yeah.
It's got a fan base that still plays it,
Yeah.
and I enjoy the game
I don't.
for what it is.
I don't. It's a good game. I think it's a pretty good game.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like
I just
about
can't play it.
The only thing I don't like about it is all the microtransactions, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's something we'll probably be talking about
Yeah,
in the future.
But the Last of Us 2 and Witcher 3, for me, those are the two top games, and God of War, I guess.
Yes.
Those are the games.
Yes, of course it is. I bought it.
I'm trying to work out what other games that are
There's the Tomb Raiders.
for the PS4. I mean, I played them. I can see why people might like them, but
I like them. Horizon Zero Dawn.
I haven't played that yet.
I liked it a lot.
But I can.
It's very fun.
From what
Actually, yeah. Here's a top tip. If you don't want to play Last of Us because you think it's going to be too depressing, play Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
It's a fun game.
I mean, it sort of is.
What do you mean, that's all it is?
I played the beginning where it always goes to shite.
Yeah, no, but it's not like murder. Like it's not
Yeah, I
like someone's
guess.
head's got blown off or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, with the shotgun in the game, if you
Yeah.
shoot someone, they explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like that.
Yeah.
It's actually quite a fun game.
But Last of Us 2, I think people should give it a try, even if they've heard all the stuff and they agree with the critiques. I would still give it a go.
Well, it's kind of like, you know, The Last Jedi. I would have said to people, go and watch it.
Yeah, go and
Like,
watch
you
it.
might not like
and
it.
come to your conclusion.
Yeah, you might not like it, but I think it's pretty good. And then when it came to The Rise of Skywalker, I just went. I remember saying to people, you don't really need to see it.
Yeah.
Like, you can probably guess what happens.
Yeah.
You can probably wait for it to come on TV.
And Last of Us 2, you can sort of guess what happens, but
That's the thing. I didn't.
Yeah, exactly, that's
So
the
before
thing.
playing the game, I thought it was going to be, so something traumatic happens. So you know your girlfriend partner,
Yeah.
Dina. I thought
I thought she's gonna
I
get
thought
killed.
she's going to be killed.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I just thought she was going to be
Because
killed.
everything that was released was always pinpointed around the bracelet she gives you.
Yeah. So I thought she's going to be killed.
Yeah.
And then you go to Seattle to get revenge, and then Joel joins you, and then probably at the end Joel dies because of something that happens.
Yeah. But I would have known about the fact that Abby, you
Yeah.
play as her and see stuff from her.
That was weird as well because there was a trailer that's in the game.
And it had
that is.
Abby in there.
I had Abby in there, and I completely forgot about all of that.
Yeah. It's in the
Yeah.
game, basically, the whole cinematic. And it's like, oh,
Yeah,
I've seen this before.
yeah. I just completely forgot about the whole thing.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but Last of Us 2, still, I would buy it
Out of 10, what do you give it?
10.
I wouldn't give it 10 out of 10, Yusuf, because I think those kind of rating
we go.
systems are really
You got
dumb.
that from Girlfriend.
No, I've have you seen
She's right, though.
yeah, no, watch Girlfriend Review, she's funny.
Yeah.
No, have you seen, what's his name? Donkey, I think his name is.
No idea.
Look at emails. But no, he's someone that just like gives these weird arbitrary kind of rating systems.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'll give this 4 out of 5 peanuts or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I'll give this like 7 out of 8 or something like really dumb things it is.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. People need to understand when it comes to critics and they give it something out of 5 or something out of 10.
Yeah.
It's gonna be different with each different human being out there.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Here's my review. I like the game. It's pretty good. You should play it. Now you might go from that. You might say, "I won't go and buy the game now." You play the game and you went, "This is trash. I hate this." He's an idiot. He is. And then we can have a discussion about that.
Yeah.
So here's my review. It's a pretty good game. You should play it.
And
Do what you want now. I don't
Also-
care. I'm not your
also,
mother.
If you're reading reviews that mark stuff out of 10, always read a review and see what they're saying is good. If they say
Yeah.
like,
Don't
oh, graphics are wonderful and stuff, but
Yeah.
the story is great.
don't skip to the end and just work out what it is out of 10.
Yeah, basically.
Just read through what the person actually says.
Yeah.
And
Because-
don't look at the end. Just don't look. Just read through it and come to a
Because-
conclusion.
and the reason
You
why I
get a
say-
general idea. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
and the reason why I say this is Fallout 4, that was, I think, out of 10, it was either marked as 9 or 9.5 on IGN. It won the Game of the Year in the same year Witcher 3 came out. And even on the base game, that game is better than Fallout 4, trust me. And it got Game of the Year edition, all that kind of stuff.
Although I did remember you saying to me when we bought Fallout, we got Fallout 4 and then we got Witcher 3, and you said to me, "I don't like Witcher 3.
Yeah, fair
Graphics
enough.
are crap."
Yeah.
You're an idiot. Anyway, but yeah, just listen to people's reviews or
Yeah.
read them, and then just come to your own conclusions. Because you get this gut feeling of like, oh, this is pretty good, or this is pretty good. Like Ghost of Tsushima, that's come out. I want to get that game, but I'm gonna probably wait for it to come out at a lower price, and then the whole package together as that sort of a definitive edition, I think
Yes.
they call it. Yeah, I've been reading reviews, and they're giving like 7 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s. And I don't look at for that. I look at for what they're actually saying.
Yeah.
So in my gut, I know it's a good game in terms of action, and in terms of stealth, it's a little bit less. It is story-wise, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's from everything I read. That's my gut reaction. That is. So that's what people should do, but people don't do it because they're idiots. But yeah,
And
just
we're the smart ones.
yes, we know everything, Yusuf.
Yes.
Yes. People should listen to us more.
Sure.
Yes. But yeah, we think it's a good game. We like it. You like it a bit more than I do.
Yep.
But overall, it's pretty good.
Wonderful.
Good. Right.
What are we talking about next week? Or whenever we do this next?
What do we have to talk about?
I
Yusuf?
have an idea.
What's your idea?
I've been reading up on the Lost Library of Moscow. Ivan the Terrible.
I don't care.
And then that made me think.
Listen, you're talking to someone who did 3 years of history degree and got a first, and as a dissertation you got 85.
So
I'm telling you now, I don't
listener,
care.
If you are still listening.
I don't care.
If you're still listening, I don't know why you're listening, but if you are still listening.
Yeah, you can probably leave now. We're not got much more to say.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to do is trying to get Hassan to come back to loving history. And
I do love history.
Yeah. When's the last time you read a history book?
4 years ago or something like that.
And that's for your dissertation.
I've still got like pictures of old testimonies from the Vietnam War, Yusuf, on my phone, and also
Wonderful. That sounds great. But
Don't do a dissertation on the Vietnam War. It's not enjoyable. It's
Yes.
good, but not enjoyable. Kind of like
Yeah.
The Last of Us. You see how I pinned everything back together,
Oh,
Yusuf? I'm just a genius, I am, when it comes to
Wonderful.
podcasting.
That's-
I'm
that's-
amazing.
Sure.
I'm great.
Yeah.
This is Hassan, as you never heard him before. Hassan, as you never heard him before.
Fair
He's more
enough.
confident. He is.
Yeah.
He's braggadocious. He's not like ASMR Hassan over there.
Oh no, please don't.
He's not coming back now, Yusuf. He'll probably be back next week.
Good.
Good.
Because when I edit it, I literally want to stab my eyeball with a pen. So we'll talk about something next time. Well, I think I've got a few ideas. Some of the ideas he won't like, but fine. You'll have to get used to it because I'm the guy who.
That's the other thing I want to ask. What do you guys actually want to listen to?
Yeah.
Because I want to talk about video games.
And in my head,
My brother here wants to talk about history.
Yes, because history's a lot more interesting.
No, it's
than-
not. Nothing history is. Nothing in history is
Okay.
exciting. I'm
Oh,
joking. It is.
oh,
It's quite
wow.
good. It's quite good.
Oh, wow. History nerds out there, if you find him, just do what.
What's it gonna do?
Just do what.
Take their glasses off. Oh, sir, you said something bad about the Roman Empire in,
Oh, no.
in 942.
Get him, Phileas. Get him. I don't know why I said Phileas. Yeah, we'll talk about something else next time.
Yeah.
We'll negotiate.
We'll
those
get
things.
some ideas.
Yeah, if you like, subscribe, comment below.
If you like, subscribe, and no, how about this? How about I do the outro, Yusuf?
you are the star of the show, yes.
Okay, yes,
I'm
yeah. Because everyone loves me.
Oh, here we go.
I'm saying this because everyone hates me. So yeah, if you enjoyed today, like or subscribe or do both. Check out the links below.
It's literally no different to what I've just said, but fine.
Shush. We've probably got an email address down there.
Yep,
We've probably got some other links down there you can check out.
probably.
We'll probably link in girlfriend reviews because we think her reviews pretty
Yes,
spot on.
yes.
I would say.
That is true.
Yeah, just come back next week and listen to all the crap we have to say.
Or whenever we do this next.
Yes.
Who knows?
Yes. It's a shaky start, Yusuf.
Yes.
I'm warning you.
Oh, God.
Just by the way, by the time this is recorded, we still haven't put up the first introduction.
Yes.
And I'm telling you to do it.
Yep.
You won't do it. Just do it.
I've tried to do it before and it didn't work, but I think I know how to fix it, so
Good.
it'll be fine.
Good, because I told all my friends at work about this, Yusuf.
Oh, God.
And they're like, oh, when's it coming out, Yusuf? No, they say to me, Hassan, oh, when's it coming out?
And then you're
And I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I really don't know. I really wish I didn't say this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's you should have I did not say anything. Keep
Yeah.
still.
Well, the problem is people will ask me questions like, what's so interesting about you? And I've got nothing interesting about me, Yusuf, apart from the fact that I'm a twin.
Yeah.
And I've said that like 1,000,001 times.
Fair enough.
And this is your idea. And I just
Yep.
went along with it because
Yep.
I just said, oh yeah, we're doing a podcast. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh, you got any plans? Yeah, we got some plans. Yeah, we're fine. We got a logo. We fought over that logo for like a couple of days.
Not really.
Yeah, we did. Because I said, you know what? Let's end this now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let's end this now.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.